Hey, hey, how's it going? Matilda Be here, and today we are talking about those things that frustrate moms, right? So, who said the toys need to be put away? That's a question that one mom was asking because she found herself frustrated. And tell me if this has ever been you. You are going through the motions, you feel like you're treading. Is it treading above water? Or you feel like you're drowning and you're just trying to keep your head above the water. That's the one. You're just trying to keep your head above the water. And you feel like everything, like just the progression of the day is just one thing after another. And it's just so overwhelming and it's so frustrating. And there's just so much going on. And you feel like, okay, why am I even doing this? Has that ever been you? Just say me below if that's ever been you, or even share a story of one of those times when you felt like that and what was going on, right? So this mom shares how at this point in her life she had two kids and they were under 5, right? So she's got two kids under 5. She's doing her master's. Her husband runs a business, and so they are super, super busy, right? And so on top of doing her master's, like she's not just focused on her master's, she's also working full time. So she's working full time, she's doing her master's, Hubs runs a business, and so they're really, really busy. And then they also have little kids. So that's just a super busy time in their life, right? And so as she's trying to keep up with the home, she gets to a point where at the end of the day, she's picking up the kids' toys to put them away. And then in that moment of overwhelm, she stops and she says, who said the toys need to be put away? Because I'm doing this and I'm putting all these toys away just so that tomorrow morning the kids wake up and they immediately come out. And what's the first thing they do? They pull all the toys out, right? So why am I putting the toys away? Why am I putting this pressure on myself? Why am I putting these toys away? Who said this needs to happen? Right? And so when she stops and she asks that question, then she can start analyzing, are her systems working for her? Because systems make things easier, right? Systems make things easier. Routines make things easier. Habits take away the thinking from the activities that you need to do. But if your habits aren't serving you, if the habits that you have created are not making your life easier, then should you still be doing them? Or is it time to change? Another story is this woman who serves dinner roast, right? And so as she's serving the dinner roast, she chops the ends of the dinner roast, puts it in the pan, puts it in the oven, cooks the dinner roast, right? So this happens for a while, and then her husband asks her, hey, why do you chop the ends of the dinner roast before you put it in the oven? Like, why? And then she says, well, that's just how I was brought up. That's how mom did it, right? And so they're like, okay, let's ask why. Like, curious question. Why do you do that? So they call the mom and they ask the mom, hey, mom, curious question. We're having dinner roast today, and this question came up, so we thought we'd ask you, why did you chop the ends off the dinner roast before you cooked it? Because that's what I learned from you, and I'm just wondering why we do it that way. And then mom says, oh, that's what my mom used to do, right? So I also just did that. So then they ask grandma, and they're like, hey, grandma, why did you chop the ends off the dinner roast before you put it in the oven, right? And then grandma says, well, my pan was too small. So the dinner roast couldn't fit in the pan. So that's why I chopped the ends off so that it would fit in the pan and put it in there, right? But there's some systems that we're carrying and we don't know where they started from. It's just become a way of life. It's just become one of those, okay, this is how we do things. This is why we're doing them. And so you don't even ask yourself why you're doing this. And when it's not working for you, are you still holding on to something that's not working for you and you have no idea why you're doing it that way? Right? A totally different story is this church choir, right? So the progression of the flow of the service was that the church choir would walk in through a special door, through a side door, right? And so they'd walk in and then they'd line up by their pews and then they'd start singing, right? And that was how it was always done. And then they had some renovations going on. And so the door that the church choir used to walk in was half blocked, right? So it was not fully blocked that they couldn't walk in. It was like there was like a beam that was just across the door. So everybody who was walking in who was over a certain height had to bend to just get through the door, right? And that just became a habit, right? And so they'd all bend to get in through the door. And that was the way it was done for a while. And then when the beam was removed, it just became, oh no, this is a reverence thing. And so as the church choir walks in, they would bend, like they would kind of bow their heads to walk into the church service, right? And then it became a reverence thing, right? And yet it didn't start as a sign of reverence. It actually started because there was a crossbeam and nobody could get in through the door. Does that make sense? So I want you to ask yourself, what are the things that are frustrating you, right? For me, it was feeling like I didn't have time for myself. Just the day was always super busy. It was just go, go, go. There was just so much going on and I didn't have time for myself. And I needed that, right? It was cooking from scratch every evening, right? Is that you? Do you feel like you're exhausted because of the things, like the daily things that have to happen on a day-to-day basis? Is that driving you crazy, right? You know the meme where a mom is like, I didn't realize that adulting meant that I would have to cook every day. Or the one where the mom says, I don't understand why they're hungry again. I just fed them, right? But they're hungry and you need to feed them, right? And you need to cook every day, right? And that drove me crazy. Or is it laundry, right? There's just laundry every day, all over the place. As it is, as soon as I'm done with these videos, I got to go do laundry, right? So what is it that is frustrating you? Have you seen the meme where someone says, I'm convinced that there are people who live in this house that I have not met. I just keep coming across their laundry because the pile of laundry is not proportionate to the number of people that live in this house. There's just way too much laundry, right? So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you today. I just wanted to get you thinking about the things that are going on in your day and in your life. So what I want you to do is to pick something in your life that is frustrating you and ask yourself, why are you doing it this way? Something that you want to change. Just ask yourself, why am I doing it this way? And then share with us. Just drop down below and be like, hey, this is the thing that's driving me crazy and I want to change it, right? Like I said, for me, it was laundry. It was cooking dinner every day. And it was the feeling that I didn't have time for myself. Those were the things I wanted to change. And that's what I worked on. Okay. So share down below what it is that you want to change. And if you have ideas on how you're going to change that, share that too. If you spot somebody else's comment and you have ideas on how it worked for you, share that with them. And let's get the conversation going. If you would love to dive deeper into this conversation, we are taking it over into our community where we will actually be talking about how to identify systems that are no longer working for you, right? So questions that you can ask yourself, ways that you can identify that these systems are no longer working for you and how you can change that. Okay, so pop into the community for that. If you're not already in the community, drop community below or DM me community and we'll get you in there. Also, mark your calendars for October 14th at 1 p.m. We have a masterclass coming up that says run your day like a boss, right? And I'll be sharing with you foundational pieces that high achievers, that successful people, that productive people have in their day to make sure that they're setting themselves up for success. So drop lab, drop lab below or DM me lab and I'll get you the registration for that. That's it from me for today. Have a good one.